Hey, this is Steve in Dallas, Texas. It's Saturday morning, my friend, and you are listening to Light Talk.
Good morning. This is Brackley coming to you from Las Vegas, Nevada. That's right. You are listening to Light Talk.
And this is Ellen coming to you from the beautiful island of St. Bart's. And today we have a very special guest, Hannah Kerman, joining us on Light Talk.
And this is Dennis coming to you from the Great White Way in New York City. And if you don't already know, you are listening to Light Talk, and we are the Lumen Brothers
and Sister.
That's right, Ellen. Hey, welcome everyone to episode 451 on our way to a record-breaking 500 episodes. I don't know, Ellen and Dennis, you may remember or you may not know Bobby Hale.
Oh, I know Bobby well, the handsomest man in show business.
Yes, he is. Bobby Hale said we would never make it past episode 10. Now he was on episode 100, but I think we need to have him back for episode 500, and he just brings some ETC swag with him. So
there you go.
I'm tossing that to you, Bobby Hale. I'll see you at LDI. Brackley, you have been absent for a while. What have you been doing out there in Las Vegas?
Well, I retired about a year and a half ago, and I've been trying to keep as busy as I can. I designed a show in Minneapolis in the spring, and I'm doing another one in May next spring. I'm on a couple board of theaters, and I'm just trying to keep busy.
Well, you know that unlike you and David, I am not retired, which means I'm starting recruitment season for SMU. Tell me about that portfolio review at LDI. I want to be there.
Absolutely. This coming LDI, Deanna and I are hosting our 15th annual LDI portfolio review. It is Monday, December the 8th from 1 to 4. We have 12 fantastic reviewers, and people can sign up by using the webpage, LDI webpage, for 15-minute slots. And we still have a number of slots left over, so it would be good if people would come and sign up.
So you're saying I can go online, I can sign up and see someone for 15 minutes.
That's correct. And we hope people sign up for more than one.
I'm going to do that later today.
You want to get your portfolio reviewed?
No, I want to talk to people. I want to see their portfolio.
Then you'd have to be a reviewer.
Oh.
Or put a little chair in the corner with a little sign that says, come to SMU. They can stop by and say hello.
It's also a networking situation because last year, one of my former students actually got a job at the South Coast Rep because one of the reviewers liked her, so they hired her as an assistant.
Oh, that's great.
Really a wonderful
cool
opportunity for students and young designers to meet the professionals.
It sounds great.
Well, I would just like to add one thing since LDI came up. Anyone who signs up for the portfolio review gets an automatic free Expo Hall pass. And anybody who would like a free Expo Hall pass and does not want to do the portfolio review can use the special promo code LIGHTTALK at www.ldishow.com and get a free show floor pass. And I've been told that I'm old and that you don't have to say www anymore. You can just say ldishow.com and everyone will know what you mean. So I think I'll start trying to do that.
Well, Dennis, are you getting old too, or do you have some news?
Well, I don't have breaking news, but I had a lovely weekend. I actually didn't have to work this weekend. So I went to the movies and went to the theater. Saw the Springsteen movie, and I was hoping that I might see the work of our good buddy Jeff Ravitz, but there's next to no concert images or sequences in the movie. It's a wonderfully acted, well-directed movie, but it's extremely depressing. So I say go and see it if you want, but be prepared.
So the perfect kind of Christmas movie.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, well, there's a guy who writes a music blog daily, Bob Lefsetz, and he blasted the film. He was like, Bruce Springsteen is alive. Go see a show. Don't go see this.
Yeah, and it dealt with a very a limited period in his life in the 80s when he was going through depression. And
making that album Nebraska.
And again, it's acted very well, but, you know, I'm not going to delve into it any more than that. It's just, it's not what I expected. That being said, I went to see Oedipus on Broadway, which just opened the night before last, and Mark Strong and Leslie Manville were the two leads playing Oedipus and Jocasta, were just superb in every way. It's a very intense reimagining and adaptation of Oedipus that takes place on a very high-stakes presidential election night. And the imagining of Oedipus as the president of a very powerful country is well done. And the whole scene and the whole show takes place in the campaign headquarters. I was a little annoyed at that because I've been in not a million, but many campaign headquarters on presidential election nights. And this wasn't quite what the reality is. But the show was very well acted and well directed, with scenery by Hildegard Betzner, lighting by Nancy Chivers, and a special shout out to the associate lighting designer, a young man named Daniel Walker, who happened to be a student at Penn State when I was teaching there. But it's worth seeing, so I would suggest, if you have time to see Greek Tragedy and that's your thing, go on down to Studio 54 and see it. We got a guest, a very important guest. Let's get to it.
That guest is part of our Young Designer series, and she is Ms. Hannah Kerman. Dennis, would you like to tell us a little bit about her?
Definitely. As you said, Steve, Hannah's part of our Young Designers series. She's the 8th young designer we have, and Hannah is an Emmy Award-winning lighting director living and working in Los Angeles. Hannah got her start in television as an intern on America's Got Talent in 2018. She then moved to L.A. in 2021 after graduating from Carnegie Mellon University with her BFA. Hannah was first drawn to lighting for theater during her time at a performing arts high school in Dallas, Texas. And from there, she decided to keep pursuing the arts by majoring in lighting design in college. Her most recent credits include the current season of Dancing with the Stars, the 97th Oscars, the 67th Grammy Awards, for which she received the 2025 Emmy Award for Outstanding Lighting Design and Lighting Direction for a Special. Hannah also enjoys traveling in her off time, as well as quilting with her grandmother in Tennessee. Hannah, thank you for sharing your time with our Light Talk audience. I would like to hop in and ask a question before we start, and I hope this doesn't embarrass you too much. But welcome to the show.
Thank you. Thank you for having me. I'm excited to be here.
As Steve said, this is our Young Designer series, and we used to call it at one point our Emerging Young Designers, but it's hard to say emerging when you're holding an Emmy Award in your hand. I'd like to clarify a little bit, if you don't mind.
Please.
Your personal timeline.
Mm-hmm.
So you went as an intern at 2018. I'm guessing you were a sophomore, maybe 19?
It was between,
that sound right?
Yeah, it was between my freshman and sophomore year.
And then you graduated in 2021, which I'm guessing you were probably 22 years of age?
21 when I graduated, yeah.
Oh, boy, it's getting worse and worse. So in 2024, young 25-year-old Hannah gets, what was it, 2 Emmy nominations?
I did, yes. It was very exciting.
And then the following year, you walk home with the Emmy Award?
Well, yes, but it was a whole team effort. It wasn't just me that won the Emmy Award.
No, I understand totally. It's I'm actually very jealous because I had my first Emmy nomination when I was 26, and you beat me. 25 and 2 Emmy nominations. That's something to be proud of, young lady.
The Emmy was for the Grammys?
Yes, the Emmy was for the Grammys.
But the prior year, you have a nomination for Dancing with the Stars and America's Got Talent,
yes,
right?
Yes, those are my first nominations, yes.
Well, I was concerned if that was real or not because you never mentioned it in your bio. Oh. And our crack research division at Light Talk Central told me that. And I said, wow, this woman's got 4 Emmy nominations before she's 26. I am impressed.
And obviously more to come.
Yes. And all of those were done with either Full Flood or 22 Degrees?
All of those nominations were with Full Flood on shows that I did with Noah Mitz as the designer. Yes.
Well, okay, great.
Yes.
Well, knowing
Damn.
that, you
That's
have
impressive.
to tell our audience and all the young designers out there, what on earth did you study in high school? What were you eating? What kind of vitamins did you take? And tell them how they can get to where you are at your age.
Oh, gosh.
And also, before you start that, Dallas, Texas, was Steve Woods one of your teachers?
Steve Woods was not
I
one of my
wish.
teachers. He should have been.
That's why she's successful today.
Well, she went to high school. She didn't go to SMU.
Yeah.
Let's fess up. At high school, did you study acting?
Yes, of course. It was a performing arts high school, so we studied everything.
I love your bio because it's like, yeah, I studied acting for a while. Then one day in college, I went, yeah, I'll be a light designer. And yeah, next year I got an Emmy. I mean, you're so modest about what you've accomplished.
I mean, I got into lighting in high school. I went to Booker T. Washington, which Steve, I'm sure you know Booker T.
Sure.
Yes, I mean, I wanted to be an actress. There's no doubt about that. I ended up not really getting cast in any of the things that I wanted to do. So I was like, how can I still be involved in theater and this experience? And we all had to take a lights and sound class, but in addition, I did a lot of costuming as well. So my life behind the sewing machine started with my grandmother, and then also did some of the costume construction in high school. But then when I wasn't doing that, I was figuring out how to program an ETC Ion with nobody really knowing how to program an ETC Ion. And then in addition, was really, really excited about learning Vectorworks when I was in high school, because there were no plots for any of the spaces at that time. And my dad has some architectural background, so I've always been interested in like drafting. And Vectorworks was kind of that gateway into doing all things drafting. I don't know, what was I eating in high school? Cafe Brazil. I love Cafe Brazil. I'm sure you know that too, Steve.
It's just across the street from me. Of all the schools you could have gone to, at what point did you make that decision that Carnegie Mellon was going to be the right school to get you where you wanted to be?
That's a great question. Let's see. So when I started my senior year of high school, we were doing the show Oklahoma. And I remember I was there over the summer, so fully applying to college. It starts kind of more in the fall, right? And I remember sitting on the ground cutting gels for Licos and being like, I kind of feel like I could do this for like the rest of my life. Like I could choose colors to light people's faces with and have fun doing it. And so then I started looking into programs that have good lighting programs at their college and for undergrad. So Carnegie ended up being one of the highest ranked ones that I was finding. And so I applied there and went for an interview in January and showed them everything that I had ever done in high school, from all of my lighting, acting, stage management, costume construction stuff. And I literally brought them everything because I wasn't really applying to any other theater schools. And they accepted me in the room, which for me was like, oh, they want me. Like, they really want me, so I should come here. They've proven that.
Who did you study under at Carnegie Mellon?
I studied under Cindy Lamaro, Rob Thompson, Todd Brown, and Mary Ellen Stebbins.
So when you got to LA, what was your sort of path to Full Flood?
Well, it started before I moved to LA, I would say. Around the time that I was interviewing at Carnegie, I was also interested in trying to find a lighting internship, specifically in TV, because at the time I really wanted to work on the Oscars. That was my biggest dream. So I took to Google and I looked at who does that? Who designs the Oscars? Maybe they'll hire me. And so I filled out the contact page on the Full Flood website And I received a reply back from Sam Benson, who's one of the full-time employees. And she said, hey, Hannah, like, I'll pass along your info. And then nothing. Like, I heard nothing until August, when I was at this point packing up to move to college. Noah Mitz emails me and he's like, hey, Hannah, like, who are you? Where are you? Like, we are kind of looking for an intern, but we're hoping to find someone that's in LA. So I Google Noah Mitz. I'm like, who is this man? Like, he works on America's Got Talent. How awesome. Oh, wait, look, he went to Carnegie Mellon. I'm about to start at Carnegie Mellon. So I replied to the email and I was like, hey, Noah, like, I'm, about to start college. I'll be living in Pittsburgh, but I'm going to Carnegie Mellon. And he replied and was like, oh, I went to Carnegie Mellon. And so we had that connection. And then I just kept emailing him, was like, hey, do you need an intern for America's Got Talent next summer? And he said yes. And so I was like, okay, I just got to get to LA to do that. And so it was in August of 2018, and I stayed with a friend from college whose family was thankfully from LA. And I worked at AGT for probably 2.5 weeks that summer before having to go back to school. But that kind of got my foot in the door. I met Noah in person. I met Will Gossett, Mike Berger, Ryan Tanker, all people that had also previously gone to CMU. And so when I went back to college, I was like, I think I found the people that I could, make a career with here. And so again, I went back to school and I just kept emailing Noah and was like, hey, like, winter break is coming up. You got anything else that you need an intern on? And he said, yes, they had the Golden Globes. So I came out again in January. I worked on the Golden Globes. That's where I met Bobby Dickinson for the first time. Got to work with him. And then it kind of just snowballed. I came back, did America's Got Talent the next year. The following summer is when the pandemic hit, and so I wasn't able to do anything in LA. But once I graduated in 2021, work had started to pick back up, and I told Noah, like, hey, I'm moving to LA. I would love to keep working for you. So the first thing I did after moving out here was the 2021 BET Awards. And then it just kind of snowballed from there.
I think America's Got Talent is fascinating because I guess as they move through their journey, the lighting and the pyro, it all gets higher and higher and higher. So it's like a total production value.
Yes.
It's amazing.
It's because it's such a variety of different performances. We could be doing some really crazy, unexpected things, both with the lighting, but then also just with like what's happening on the stage. And it comes with a lot of, I don't want to say problem solving, but like ways to try and highlight certain aspects of it that you wouldn't normally think about, or ways to hide certain aspects so that it's less obvious if they're doing a magic trick or something like that, crushing the blacks in the camera, working with, all of that to try and make it read on television.
Do you work with the artists to figure out what they want, or is it just totally the lighting designer's call?
No, oftentimes it is a collaboration, usually between, I'd say the artists more directly talk to the creative team of the show, and then they'll put forward whatever their requests are, and we try and implement those as best we can.
I haven't seen America's Got Talent in a while, but because you're on our show today, I decided to watch the birthday show of Dancing with the Stars yesterday.
Oh, what'd you think?
Astonishing. Hannah, astonishing. You and the team, it's incredible. And I jotted down a couple of names. I know that I was giving you the credit for making everything happen in Hollywood, but I should say Dancing with the Stars, the lighting designer Noah Mitz and the lighting directors aren't just Hannah, but Madigan Steely, Patrick Brasil, Joe Holdman, and Will Gossett. Anybody else I missed there, Hannah?
Matt Benson is our gaffer, and his whole team, they're also a big part of making the show happen.
Matt McAdams,
Mhm.
is he also the lighting programmer in addition to the media server programmer?
Matt McAdam does all of the media stuff on the show, so the projection on the floor and the content in the LED screen. And yes, we do.
Who does the actual lighting programming?
That is Joe Holdman and Patrick Brasil.
Ah, okay. I missed their names, but I'll tell you, I don't know if it's because it was the 20th anniversary birthday show or what. It was a pretty spectacular show.
Thank you.
That opening number was just astonishing, and I was blown away. It certainly, I haven't seen the show in a couple of years, but it certainly has changed a lot. Full Flood's been doing it now for what, 2 or 3 years?
This is
Something like
our
that?
4th season.
Fourth, because I know Tom Sutherland used to do it,
Yes.
and I haven't seen it, only because it's Tuesday, and on Tuesday we record Light Talk.
Right.
So
Yes.
I have my priorities in order. But I'll tell you, the show was pretty spectacular, and I was stunned by the fact it's in its 34th season.
I know.
I mean, you guys should be incredibly proud of the work you're doing on that show, which is stellar.
Thank
and
you.
cranking out a product like that every week is astonishing.
Thank you. Yes.
Tying into what Ellen was just asking, how much advance leeway do you have? And I assume you're pre-recording a lot of stuff because
No.
it moves quickly.
We're not. The entire
Oh.
show you watched last night was live.
Live, or
Live.
live pre-recorded?
Live.
Let me ask something real fast.
Mhm.
How many episodes do you do per year?
It's 10 to 11. It kind of, or on dancing specifically, it's 10 to 11 episodes.
Is everything live?
99% of it is live.
Wow.
It's
Incredible.
Oh my God.
I mean,
I am even more impressed by what I saw.
the packages that we go into, the training packages, what we call them, like obviously that is pre-records of like what happened that week and, in the rehearsal space and stuff. But all of the dance performances that happen on the stage, 99% of them are live.
So you just finished a show last night. I didn't want to turn this into a tech discussion. We are going to go back to your career, but can you just walk us through quickly what you're going to be doing, your particular role and the process in preparation for next Tuesday's live show?
Of course, yes. So on Thursday, we have a creative call meeting where we basically learn everything about not the coming episode, but the week after. Because we've already talked about what's happening this week, last week. So we're always like 1 week ahead in the creative call meetings that are usually attended by Noah and Madigan. And they fill out, a whole info sheet so that the rest of us can know what is happening. We all come in on Sunday for our programming day, which is where Patrick Brasil and Joe Holdman basically ingest all of the creative information and program what we're thinking that they want from a creative aspect, but then also what the dancers are hoping to achieve. On that Sunday, I am usually also ingesting all of the rehearsal videos, and that's when I plan a first pass for calling the follow spots. That's most of my job is calling follow spots. In addition,
Well done. The follow spots are very, very good.
Thank you.
That was the thing that impressed me the most, the use of the follow spots, because it's very difficult on a reflective floor.
Mm-hmm.
And our old friend, angle of incidence equals angle of reflection, is killing you there.
Yes. And also with all of the projection on the dance floor as well, we're trying not to cover that up constantly. And that does also impact like how bright everything in the room can be so that you can still see the projection on the floor.
You have 4 follow spots, right?
No, we have 12.
Oh, really? Oh, so then you're using different angles.
Yes. So we have one on each corner of the dance floor. Those are like the main 4. And then there's 3 conventional follow spots on the follow spot bridge all the way downstage above the skybox, which is where they go for the interviews after they've danced. In addition, we have 2 backlight follow spots over the walkway, which is the Marlight floor area all the way upstage, right up the steps. And then also 2 that are kind of on stage left and stage right in the middle, upstage, downstage of the dance floor, and one that's dead center over the middle of the dance floor.
For those of you at home, Hannah's pointing to different places in the atmosphere above her
Right.
head and behind her and in front of her. So
Sorry.
I assume these aren't manned follow spots. You're using like Follow Me or Roby or something?
No, they're all run by humans.
Humans at the light or at a remote control?
And most of them are ground control follow spots. So they're run at a base station, a human at a base station, but then the 3 conventional ones are manned by actual people at the follow spot.
All right. Sorry to interrupt and take it away on follows. Keep telling us the story.
Yeah. So on Sunday, well, we will have already broken down the music by then, and I will plan what the follow spots are going to do. And then also I usually get the script on Sundays. So I make the cue list for Patrick Brasil, who deals with a lot of the key lighting when it's not a follow spot, and like the show flow. So I make a cue list for that. And then on Monday, I come in early to put all of the cues into the paper script, because that's when I get it, is Monday morning. And then we start rehearsals. So it's what we call our camera blocking day. We go through every performance. On Monday, we do usually 3 passes of each dance. In the 3rd pass, we'll usually do a whole cue to cue of the entire act surrounding that dance. And then on Tuesday, we come in and we do each dance another 3 times in a 10-minute window. It's just like a refresher because the band is there. So now the band plays live with the dancers. We make sure that our time code is syncing with what the band is playing. And also the dancers are confirming for them that the band tempo is correct with everything that they've choreographed. And then we do a dress rehearsal right after lunch. And then we go straight into the show. It is nonstop for those 2 days that we are in the room.
I'm still trying to wrap my brain around the fact you don't pre-tape and you go live. I mean, it was, I saw an astonishing 2 hours of live TV last night.
did.
It was really exceptional.
Thank
And
you.
the dancing was tremendous. Even guys like Andy Richter, who could probably barely walk, to watch them dance so well. And the support that you guys provide, not just with the video content, but with the lighting, is really well executed, and it's a extremely well done collaborative process.
Thank you. Yeah, it does. It takes a lot of people to make it happen each week, and a lot of work. So I appreciate your praise.
It's almost like it's an Emmy Award winning show.
Almost.
So is television your thing now? Is that where you're going to stay?
I think so. I definitely found my niche, and I like a lot of the people that I work with. So I'm very happy to stay in this world and, keep managing white light. That's kind of what TV is.
Well, it's not all white on that show, I'll tell you.
No, it's true.
What do you have? About 1,000 instruments there?
That is a great question. I draw the show. I should know, but I don't off the top of my head know how many.
Yeah, no, people ask me how many lights did you use. I never know either, but boy, there's a lot of lights on that show.
Yeah.
And what board do you program on?
They are on Grandame 2.
Usually with a lot of our younger designers, I always say, now, what would you tell your 25-year-old self that you would want to do different? But unfortunately, it doesn't apply to you yet. But what I would like to ask, what would you tell another young Hannah at Dallas High School that they should do to get where you are?
To send the email to the people that you want to work with. Send the email. They may never reply. It's true. Like, it took Noah 8 months to reply, which in the grand scheme of things is actually a very short amount of time.
That's very interesting, because we had Colleen Doherty on the show as one of our young designers a few weeks back, and she said the same thing. She went to Rutgers because Don Holder was there, and she contacted Don Holder, and then when she graduated, she just basically cold called Justin Townsend, and now she's working on 3 or 4 Broadway shows with Justin.
Exactly. It might just be right time, right place. They might need an assistant on some show that's happening, and that could be you.
Yeah, and I remember Noah and then Madigan when they were your age. So, they've all come from where you've come from. So
yeah.
And the Carnegie Mellon thing is amazing because I don't know if you ever met a man by the name of John Gresh, who was from Ari.
I know
who's
John
since
Gresh.
retired.
Yes.
But he keeps like all the Carnegie Mellon people together. And he often gets them together for meals. And, like at when he used to be at LDI, he'd get them all together. And it'll be Cindy and Chris and whoever else came from that crowd.
Yeah.
Chris Werner, I think. I don't know if you've come across Chris.
Yes, Chris Werner. Yep.
But that's a great connection also.
Yeah.
We used to call it the CMU Mafia.
Right.
That's
like the Yale Mafia.
Oh, so I think we need to cut to the most important question. You don't have to tell us because, you don't necessarily want people to know yet. Have you picked out a name for your company yet?
Yeah, I have. I have a company.
Oh, what's the name of your company?
It's called Dim the Lights Design.
I like that.
That's clever. That's very clever.
Thank you. Yes, I incorporated in 2022.
You're going to start getting emails from people you don't know.
Right.
You're going to look up dimthelightsdesign.com.
Exactly.
Why not?
Changing the topic a bit, we're stressing all this TV work you're doing. What sort of theatrical work? I'm sure you've designed several theatrical productions and shows. What have you done in that vein, and do you want to continue doing anything there?
Yeah.
Live theater, I'm talking about.
Really sorry to disappoint. I have only done like 2 professional theater things, and they were like right after I graduated from college. The theater work that I've done was at Northern Stage Vermont, and I did it in the summer of 2021 and 2022. And that's not to say that I wouldn't keep doing theater. Like, one of my goals in life is to go back and do a show at the Dallas Theater Center, because I grew up, or my high school was across the street, and I've never actually worked there, but I would love to. I've just fallen into this crazy television niche, and it keeps me busy year round, and it's almost difficult now to go back to doing theater because the pace is so different than in TV.
Yes, it is.
What is the biggest learning curve you had when you were interning or going out to LA?
Biggest learning curve, I think, is just managing the human relationships sometimes. Like, just making sure that you're doing the best you can for the people that you're working for, and also that you're still a nice person to go to lunch with. I know that gets brought up a lot, but like, we go to lunch together as a team every day. And I don't know if that's a learning curve as much as it's just like getting comfortable around the people that you're working with, which can be difficult sometimes, especially if you don't work with those people very often. But a lot of the time it's just like remembering, what you might have learned about them 2 years ago that you can bring up as a conversation for the next time you guys see each other. There's also a lot of jargon in LA, like words that are not called the same thing like in New York, but that are called different things in the TV world. So that was also a big learning curve, is like, what is a VTPV, which is a videotape playback, but that's what they put on all the paperwork is VTPV, and I'm like, what does this mean? Like, that sort of thing.
I'm convinced they just make that stuff up. They did, what's that? It's blah blah blah.
Right.
They just make these words up, and then it becomes legend.
Yeah. There are often times that I'm learning about some new piece of grip gear that I'm like, this thing has been around since the 50s and I've never used it before, and it has a crazy name. Like, I never would have expected that.
Hey, Hannah, since you have mastered 12 follow spots on your show, I mean, is anybody doing any more than that? That sounds like an unreasonable number at 12.
Of course, we have 23 follow spots on the Grammys, and it's a beast. It is so many follow spot cues. It is constantly on, off, trying to make clear where the next thing is happening. But yes, 23 humans running 23 follow spots.
Does that include some of them on the audience? Like when they like actor lighting, like if they want to highlight the people that are sitting in the winner seats?
Yeah,
or is it all stage lighting?
Yeah, we have follow spots that light them as they walk up to accept their award. Yes.
Right.
In addition, we've had Trevor Noah as the host on the show every time that I've worked on it, and he loves to be in the audience for stuff, and so we have to follow him with ball spots because he will walk around that whole area. But there's already a base level of lighting for especially where all the celebrities are on most of the award shows that we do.
Right.
And it helps him pop a little bit more, so you know where he is and you can follow him along.
What seems to be the follow spot of choice for live television?
More recently, we have really liked the VL 1600, which PRG did turn into a ground controllable follow spot for us. But we also use the Best Boys and the Bad Boys a lot in terms of the ground control ones. And then, of course, Super Troopers.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
A question for you regarding training. One of the things that worried me during the pandemic was how many students in colleges who were being trained to do live theater, television, whatever, were being trained at universities where there was nothing going on.
Yeah.
There was no hands-on television. There were no studios.
Mm-hmm.
How did that affect, and how you seem to have been successful to get through it, but I think a lot of people haven't been because they don't have the video, the engineering, the cameras. They're not in there hanging lights. It was the live aspect was gone for over a year.
Yeah.
How did you cope with that?
Yeah, no, I was fully impacted by it when the pandemic hit and everything went online. Like part of the biggest thing when you're in college is getting to do your senior show, and I didn't get that experience in its normal way. We ended up doing like Zoom theater. And that, of course, that was disappointing, but at the same time, I have to appreciate the experiences that I did get to have, before the pandemic hit, that is. But when the pandemic hit and I didn't get to come out to LA to do TV stuff, I ended up making my own lighting for television independent study thing that I did, which is actually how I met Dale Knopf, who you said suggested me for this show.
Sure.
Because Dale and Rob Thompson know each other, Rob Thompson was my professor at CMU. And so Dale and I would meet once a week for 6 weeks, I think it was. And he, talked to me about how he designs, for a news desk sort of situation in the broad scheme of things. And then from that, I was like, okay, I'm going to draw a plot. And while, that didn't turn into an actual thing, it gave me the experience to be like, oh, hey, why do you choose to light it this way and not all with soft lights? Or to learn that sort of aspect of lighting for a news desk from someone who also had the time during the pandemic to meet with me once a week. So I tried to take advantage of, the other people also not working, which is awful. And the pandemic was terrible for a lot of this industry. But I did try and make the most of it. So, yeah.
Were you thrown at all, having a training in theater at CMU, by the differences between theater lighting and broadcast lighting? I mean, the geometry is different, the fixtures are different, intensities are different. How did you adapt to that?
I was so thrown. I mean, when I first came out,
I can see that you're having a hard time finding work.
Well, when I first came out and interned, and who was it? One of the lighting directors had, a meter on them. I'm like, what's that? Like, what does that even do? Where you're checking intensities. And like I said, a lot of television is dealing with white light. And yeah, that is very different from theater. Like theater, you are not constantly metering every lighting position. It's kind of just what looks good in the room. And so, yes, very thrown by how much we interact with cameras and how much it affects what the final product looks like if we don't put in all of that effort to make it all look even across the board.
Interesting. Even on a show like Dancing with the Stars, huh?
Mm-hmm.
Do you rely on a meter? Or you rely on your monitor?
Both. Because at least the meter can tell us where we think we're close. And then from there, we can make adjustments to the monitor and be like, oh, well, Julianne is very pale and Alfonso is not pale. And so a lot of it is trying to find the middle ground between a very pale person standing next to a not pale person for the monitor. so that we're not compromising Alfonso looking good on TV because he's not pale, you know?
So when she's doing the recap after the dance and Alfonso's there, do you have different follow spots on each of them? Or you like?
No. It's just finding like a middle ground so that they both look good. Because and that might mean that we're slightly overexposing Julianne. But that also means that we're not compromising by losing Alfonso. It has to be one light, especially when they're standing right next to each other. But yeah, at least the meter can give us a starting point to, go to each position and match them. So that way, when the camera folks come in and they fine tune it, it's all even from a lighting perspective. So that way we know if a camera isn't balanced, it will obviously look different, but we can say, well, that we know that according to the meter, this should be the same as at this mark or, on this camera.
How much interaction do you have on the show with your video shaders? I assume there's more than one.
Yes, so much interaction. We work with Guy Jones a lot, who's one of the he works on every show, really. Guy Jones and Ed, who does Dancing with Stars, we work with him a lot too. There is so much interaction. They usually sit in the same area as us. If that's not in the TV truck, then that's in the studio booth. And there's a lot of talking about using star filters and how that impacts us. And honestly, them often keeping us honest about if something doesn't look right, or us trying to keep them honest if something doesn't look like. So there is so much hand-in-hand connection there. And that's why they're included now in the lighting Emmys category, is because so much of what they do impacts what our show ends up looking like.
And you must have, I'm guessing, 20 cameras on the show?
On dancing, we have 16 cameras this year.
It's a lot of stuff to pay attention to.
It is, yeah. And our director is amazing at it, too.
It sounds like you found your tribe.
I have. I've been very, very fortunate in my career.
What, if anything, would you change? I know it's a tough question. I'm sorry to be so personal about it, but I can't tell you how much respect and admiration I have for you doing cold calling and getting to where you are so quickly. We had one of our younger designers that we had on this series had her first Broadway show before she was 30, and much like yourself, went through the pandemic and Mexley Kozin.
Mm-hmm.
And it's an unusual thing for somebody so young to adapt so well the way you have and the way some of the other young designers have that we talk to. I'm very impressed by that.
Well, some people make a career of calling follow spots, and that's what they do forever and ever. Mm-hmm. But do you want to move into the design side of things?
Yeah, I think potentially. Working with Full Flood and Noah and even 22 Degrees has been great for learning not just how to call follow spots. Like I'm also sometimes the floor LD, which is a great different side of things where you're interacting more with some of the creative processes and implementing, whatever act look is happening for whichever performance we're doing. And so there's a lot of different collaboration there that I've been really fortunate to do in my time as well. But I think if I were to change anything, I would love to do more theater. I feel like I did stop, and I don't know how to get back into that, I guess. But you don't know how to, are you kidding me? You're just going to call up the artistic director at the Alley Theater and say, hey, this is Hannah, 4-time Emmy nominee. Winner of Emmy Award. I'd like to come out and do a show. Let's face it, you're not going to do it for the money. You're going to do it because you want to, and for the artistic challenge and to keep your chops going. But with the credits you're accumulating, you will have no problems reaching out to people. Maybe that's the next step. Getting back in the theater, trying to do something at the Dallas Theater Center. I'm putting it out there.
There you go.
There you go.
Well, Hannah, thank you so much for joining us today. This has been really enlightening.
Thank you guys so much for having me.
Well, the rocking sounds of the Luminoids tell us once again you've spent another morning listening to Light Talk. You can hear our show on just about every podcast site out there. Check out our website on lighttalk.org and be sure to follow us on Facebook and subscribe to our podcast. That way you will not miss a second of Light Talk insanity.
No guarantee is offered regarding the accuracy of any statements or opinions made on this podcast. However,
if you do decide to litigate, you will have to deal with me, Snoot from the Snoot Group. And don't get it twisted. Just because I married one of these losers does not mean I will go easy on you. So don't f*** with me.
Light Talk is written and produced by the Lumen Brothers and our sister Ellen. Coming to you today from New York City, from the island of St. Bart's, from Las Vegas, the home of next month's LDI show, the Lone Star State, where Hannah went to high school, and the City of Angels, where celebrities meet every week with Hannah Kerman to dance their way into your hearts.
So be sure to join us next week, where we dive into even more lighting shenanigans and serve up a fresh, piping hot casserole of nonsense.
Light Talk, broadcasting questionable lumen knowledge and humor around the world.
So see you all next Saturday morning. Bye-bye from Light Talk.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Thank you, Hannah.
Thank you.